Everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric and a continuing Christmas series where I take a look at some of my favorite Christmas-related video games of all time. And today we have the Christmas expansion of Duke Nukem, and we have Frosty the Snowman here telling us the story of how Duke had to fight Santa for Christmas. Or, well, honestly, it's the feminist elven militia, but that just sounds kind of weird. Before we get too far involved, though, do me a huge favor. Go down below, hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell definitely helps us out. If you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we have a Patreon link down below as well. And because it is Christmas, I have a giveaway on this video, and since I couldn't think of anything physical, here's what the giveaway is. If you win the contest, I will buy you any game on Steam $30 or less. I'll take care of the tax as well, so if it's 30 bucks and it's $34 after tax, it's on me. I will gift you the code. It's a two-part entry. The first part is you tell me what your favorite 90s first-person shooter is in the comments. The second comment you need to leave is a 4-number code. I've hidden it somewhere in the video, and that is just to keep people that don't subscribe to the channel and never watch from entering quickly, because it always happens. But it's not Christmas without Duke Nukem, and honestly, that's not true at all. You can definitely have Christmas without Duke, but I remember when this expansion pack came out, I loved Duke Nukem so much back in the day. I asked for it for Christmas, and I got it. And honestly, I was relatively disappointed by it back then, and it still isn't the greatest game in the world. It's basically just a reskin of the earlier levels of Duke Nukem with some expansion on the back end as well. As I've gotten older, I've actually appreciated it more just for how absurd it is, because it's taking the classic Duke Nukem formula. You got a pig cop there, but he is wearing a Santa hat, and you have snowmen and other different weird enemies, including I think that are elves but look more like aliens. But I miss the days in the 90s where every popular game had like 3 or 4 expansion packs, and of course they had a holiday theme in almost all of them. And I think that's just a giant snowman riding a Zamboni, honestly, and that makes kind of sense. You know, Zambonis, ice, Christmas. I mean, it's a really far departure, but let's just go with it because, you know, snowmen flying around on wreaths that are kind of like UFOs, that's also a pretty far departure, so we really shouldn't argue with the logic of this game, because even without a Christmas theme, it doesn't make much sense. But that snowman just tagged me right in the face with a snowball, and we're going to kind of assume it is an ice ball. But I just love this game because it reminds me of being a kid. It reminds me of the excitement at Christmas of asking for video games and wondering which ones I'm going to get. And I remember my mother always saying I couldn't have games like Duke Nukem. She would always put up resistance, and she would always get them for me anyway. It was kind of like she had to say that it wasn't okay, but it ended up being okay. She just kind of had to put that resistance up to feel like she was trying to protect me from the big bad video game boogeyman, when in reality she probably just wanted to make me happy and buy me the games that I wanted. And I'm sure a lot of you had the same experience of people saying like, this game's not for kids, but you played it in the 90s. There's just a different time when we kind of just did whatever we felt like, I guess. What I really miss about those days is now I buy my own video games. I buy my own consoles, I buy my own arcade boards, I find my own rare betas. I do it all myself. But back then, you just asked for things and you got excited as to what you might get on Christmas morning. Although what I didn't want to get on Christmas morning is watching Frosty rip the entrails out of what looks like an elf. Frosty has not been good this year. He is not getting any toys whatsoever. And I can't help but joke because these videos are all a little bit foolish. I understand that. I just love Christmas so much. I have since I've been a kid. I love giving people gifts. I love giving my family gifts, and trying to figure out what I want to give my wife every year and hyping her up for that is probably my favorite part of Christmas. I honestly now, as an adult, don't really care what I get. I care about how happy I make somebody by giving them something, and that's why I do these giveaways. People are going to say I do it for the views and for the subscribers. That's just part and parcel of what happens. I'm going to lose money on this video. I'm giving away a $30 Steam game. I might make like $12 in revenue. I'm doing this because it'll make you happy. Whoever wins is going to get a game on me. Maybe one that they've wanted, maybe one that they didn't want to spend the money on because they spent money on their family this Christmas. If it makes you happy, it makes me happy. What also makes me happy is shooting sharks in the face with a shotgun underwater. It's just the weirdest thing, and it makes no sense. But as weird as this is, it also sounds even weirder because it's got a Christmas soundtrack. So go ahead and listen for like 30-45 seconds, and I'll come back and talk more about why Duke Nukem is part of Christmas. But enjoy.
See you in hell. That's gotta hurt.
But yeah, it's weird to hear Christmas music in a Duke Nukem game, but it kind of works because everyone knows Jingle Bells is a swell time to shoot pig cops in the face. And honestly, I just made those lyrics up because they kind of made me laugh, and I'm always trying to make myself entertained. But honestly, it's not as weird as it seems. I'd love to know what the budget was for these expansions though, because they feel really quick turn and burn things. Obviously, this music is probably just from some stock library, but at least we're fighting through Santa's headquarters here, and it is a new level, and it's honestly not a terrible level. It's definitely not as good as the base Duke Nukem 3D game, but it is good enough, and I'm sure this was probably cheap when I asked for it, because back in the day, level expansions for popular first-person shooter games were always relatively cheap, so this was probably like a smaller Christmas gift asked for me. If you're wondering what the 4-digit code is, I'm putting it up on the screen right now, so now you know how to enter for that Steam giveaway, and I wish you the best of luck. Only one person could win. I wish I could do it for everybody, but I am not rich, much to the popular contrary opinion of people that see the games I put up and think I am. But yeah, Christmas is always a fun time to play video games. You were off from school for like 2 full weeks. You had all the games that you had all year long. You had nothing to do except go outside and play in the snow, and if you were like me, go skiing some days. But waiting for Christmas morning to see what video game related item was under the tree, I just have so many great memories of new consoles, of new Christmas video games, of new computers that I would get very rarely at the holidays. And I just don't get that as much anymore, and it's kind of a bummer. I mean, I don't want to be a kid again, but I do wish that that still existed. And weirdly, you can fall in this lava pit here with these 2 snowmen hovering around that don't do anything whatsoever. I don't know if it was an Easter egg or maybe just because I am using, I think, one of the Duke 32, not emulators, but source ports of this game. Maybe it just doesn't function correctly. But I mean, we're in the sewers, we're shooting pig cops and Santa Claus hats, and this is classic 90s, and we don't get this as much anymore. Every once in a while, a game will release a Christmas expansion, but it is really few and far between, and I have no idea what games I'm going to talk about at the next Christmas holiday, because I'm starting to run really low. So if you have any ideas, leave me a comment down below. And if you make video games, make some more Christmas video games, because we don't get them as much as I wished. And maybe make it so that you can shoot camouflage pants wearing elves in the face with a rocket launcher, because that's also something that you just don't get enough of these days. But yeah, that's Duke Nukem, the Christmas expansion. I got it as a kid. I thought it was okay. Probably played it for a couple hours and beat it. But as an adult, I love it because it reminds me of a time and place of just, being a kid waiting for that Christmas gift, wondering what's under the tree. But yeah, I'll have one more Christmas episode coming up before the holiday, so stay tuned for that because I'm doing giveaways every Tuesday. I'll have videos throughout the week as well. Stay away from snowmen. You never know what could happen. They don't look like they're going to move, but one of them out there somewhere might rip your entrails out. Short of that, hope you don't have any nightmares. See you guys next time. Bad Frosty. Bye-bye.